In this video, we're going to consider some summary functions, primarily for continuous variables in R. Once again, let's read in our student survey dataset. Now today, why don't we consider the height variable again? So we've got heights ranging from 59 inches up to 83 inches tall. Now, two of the most commonly used functions for continuous variables are mean, so I want the average, and standard deviation. Now with mean and average, for both of these, we are going to pass in the full data, so I want student survey, and then I'm going to pass in height. However, for both of these variables, R has a little bit of a catch to make sure that you don't get information you don't want. So in these variables, if you have any missing data, R is going to return an NA value. The reason being, R doesn't know what you want to do with that missing observation, and it wants to make sure that you understand that there are missing values in the data. Now, if you look at the help page for mean, there is a commonly used argument here, na.rm, which stands for missing na.remove. Now the default is false, but if I come up and add in here and change this false to true, then what R is going to do is remove all of those missing values when calculating the mean and give you the mean or the average for the remaining values. Once we have that format set up, we can very easily grab the standard deviation. Using the same argument, throw in na.rm equals true once again, and we can find the standard deviation that way. Now these are two of the most common. There are quite a few other functions that will find us various quantities from a continuous variable. Those may include the minimum, the maximum, and the median. So you can very quickly grab those different values. As a note, another popular function is the summary function that we can pass in. However, do be aware, when we run this, we get what looks like our typical 5-number summary. In addition, it's going to tell us how many missing values are there. In fact, in most cases, you can remove that na.rm argument, and R is going to know just what to do. Now do be aware though that these 5-number summaries are not always calculated perhaps the way a textbook would teach them. In fact, if you look at the summary function, there are a lot of different things that are going to pop in here, but this first one up here is the one that we are looking at right now, and we see this quantile type equals 7. There are a lot of different methods to calculate these quantiles, the first and third quantiles. And in fact, we can see that if we change this value from the default of 7 to, say, 1, we may see different values. In this case, we didn't see anything different. 2, we're still looking at the same. 3 and 4, so this will be the time we can see, oh, maybe everything stays the same. For large data sets, we tend not to see much of a difference. But if you go and do this with smaller data sets or with data sets with different values, you're going to get potentially different outcomes for your quantiles. So for this data set, we've got a large enough summary that we don't see any different values popping up. But you can see different values depending upon how large your data set is, because R is going to try to use kind of some computer smoothing values to better estimate population values. So those are some simple functions you can use when finding values for continuous variables.